My chuck roast in the oven recipe is easy and delicious. Braised along with plenty of veggies, this one pan meal is one that you and your family are going to love. Let's go over the ingredients. For a 9x13 baking dish, you will need 1 2 to 3 pound chuck roast minus 2.5, along with 3 to 4 pounds of vegetables. I am using some baking potatoes, Vidalia onions, a red onion, some carrot, and some celery stalks, but you can use Yukon Gold potatoes, red potatoes, even sweet potatoes, whatever you want. For the braising liquid, I'm going to need 2 to 3 pounds of stock. I'm using homemade vegetable stock, but you can use store-bought beef stock, whatever you want. And to flavor that liquid even more, I'm going to use 1 cup of red wine and a 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce. For spices, 1 ounce packet of onion soup mix. For the spices, also 1/2 teaspoon each of garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, parsley, and oregano. 2 to 3 bay leaves, about 3 garlic cloves, and a little bit of salt just for the meat. But I don't want to over salt this dish because the Worcestershire sauce is salty, as is the onion soup mix. Normally with the garlic, I literally just keep the cloves whole and put them in the dish with the vegetables in the braising liquid, but I might use my garlic press to get out even more flavor, so that's just a way to switch things up. As you can see, I have all of my ingredients. My 9x13 baking dish is buttered, so I'm ready to go. This first step is technically optional, but I highly recommend it. Here in this pan, I have about 2 teaspoons of oil and I'm going to use that to sear the outside of my roast. I know a lot of people dredge the roast in flour first. I'm not going to do that because it's an extra step, and also I'm afraid that it might cloud the flavor of the braising liquid. It might take away some of the beefy flavor, so I'm not going to do that, but if you want to, you definitely can. So I am going to get my oil hot and then I'll sear my heat, so I'll bring you back in a little bit. My oil has come up to temperature, but before I put it into the pan, I'm just going to give it a little sprinkling of salt to help bring out the flavor. Like I said, I'm not going to go crazy because this recipe has a lot of other salty ingredients. So it goes, and then once this part is facing down, I will go back and I will salt the other side. Like I said, I'm just going to salt the other side now, very lightly. I don't like my food to be too salty. I'm probably going to cook this for 5 to 6 minutes on, let's say, medium-high heat. Medium or medium-high heat. Once that's done, I will bring you back. My chuck roast has been searing on the first side for about 6 minutes on medium-high heat. Gas mark 4 out of 6. So now I'm going to do the same on this side. Now that it's done searing, I'm going to take it out, put it off to the side here. And now I'm going to deglaze my pan. So all of these little bits of flavor are stuck on the bottom. I'm going to use my red wine to get those up off of the bottom of the pan. I'm going to take my spatula and stir like this. We don't want to leave those flavorful bits behind, so something acidic will help get those up off the bottom of the pan. Now, what I like to do is I like to take my onion soup mix and dissolve it in this liquid while it's still warm. So I'm just going to pour this in like that. Turn off my heat and stir. Now I'm going to put this off to the side and I'm going to start assembling the rest of the roast. I'm going to cut up the vegetables and place them around the seared chuck roast. As you can see, I went ahead and cut up all the vegetables already just in the interest of time. Like I said, 3 to 4 pounds. I personally like to put the potatoes and onions closer to the surface and have the celery more on the bottom, but you can arrange everything however you want. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pouring in the liquid. I'm going to start off with the red wine that I used to deglaze the pan. I'm going to pour that over the meat and the vegetables. When you're working with potatoes, make sure you have the liquid ready to go, because pouring the braising liquid over is going to help make sure that your potatoes do not oxidize. Of course, there's going to be some onion soup mix left over, so just scrape that into the dish. Next is the Worcestershire sauce, a 1/4 cup. This is really going to bring out the beefy flavor, so I like to pour it directly on the roast itself and a little bit around the vegetables. But before I add the vegetable stock, I'm going to add the spices. At the beginning of the video, I think I said I was going to add 1/2 teaspoon each of every spice. But I thought about it, and considering the size of the chuck roast and the amount of vegetables, I've decided that I'm going to do 1 teaspoon each of garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, parsley, and oregano. I'm also going to add a few bay leaves, so I'll just tuck them in wherever I can between the slices of vegetables. Normally with the garlic cloves, I just leave them whole and then put them in where I see some space, but this time I'm going to do something different. I'm actually going to take my garlic press. I am going to press them in like this. This is going to release more of the juices and the oils from the garlic. And actually, I've decided I want my roast to be very flavorful this time. So I'm going to experiment with a little more garlic, 4 cloves, and then an extra 1/2 teaspoon each of all the spices. So that would make it a full teaspoon each of black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, parsley, and oregano. Last but not least, the vegetable broth. Like I said, I think it's going to take 2 to 3 cups. If I need more liquid, I'll just add water, because this broth is really flavorful. It has garlic, onion, celery, carrot, and then bay leaf in it. I just simmer them on low for about 2.5 to 3 hours. You can definitely use store-bought vegetable stock if you want, but as always, I recommend homemade if you can. Add a little bit of extra water just to get 2.5 cups. Along with the extra water, I'm using 4 cups of liquid. I think that's enough. I'm probably going to cook this uncovered a little bit longer than I normally would to evaporate some of that moisture, but like I said, this is a pretty thick roast, especially on that end, and I want to make sure that there's enough moisture in this pan to braise it. Now I'm going to cover it with foil. I'm going to start off at 350 degrees Fahrenheit covered for 2 hours. Then I'm going to take it out, baste it, and continue cooking at 350 uncovered. More than likely, I'll let you know for how long, but I might have to adjust the baking time a little bit to reduce the liquid and get everything the way I want it, but I'm going to start off with covered at 350 for 2 hours. The first phase of baking my chuck roast in the oven is now done. It was covered with foil and baked at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours. Now I'm just gonna take my spoon and baste the meat and baste the vegetables and then put it back in to finish cooking. I'm gonna probably keep it at 350 for a little bit, and then I'm getting kind of hungry, so I'll probably raise it to 400 or something. After about 10 minutes at 350, I decided to turn the oven up to 400 just to reduce the liquid faster because I'm getting hungry. So what I've been doing is every 15 minutes just basting the meat so that it doesn't get dry and tough. My chuck roast in the oven is now done. It was in for a total of 3 hours. Like I said, at first 2 hours at 350 covered, then 1 hour uncovered, for 10 minutes at 350, and then the rest at 400. So we'll just say 400 for an hour, basting the meat every 15 minutes. Now I'm going to turn off the oven, let it sit there for maybe 10 to 15 minutes to cool down, then I'll serve. Although it took a few hours, my roast turned out great. The meat was fully cooked, as were the vegetables, and the braising liquid was reduced significantly, concentrating the flavor. I made some rice and steamed vegetables to go along as a side while the roast was still in the oven, so once it had cooled down a bit, I was ready to give it a try. And when I cut the first piece and took the first bite, I knew that my chuck roast in the oven recipe was a big success because it was absolutely delicious. First, let's talk about the meat. The long cooking time at 350 degrees Fahrenheit tenderized it and melted the collagen, making the roast so soft that I could pull it apart with a fork and spoon, as you can see in the video. The meat itself was very flavorful, especially with the braising liquid drizzled over it, and it went perfectly with the roasted vegetables and steamed rice. Speaking of vegetables, the potatoes, carrots, and onions were cooked thoroughly. At first, they boiled and steamed in the braising liquid, then after I removed the foil and started reducing the liquid, they crisped up on the top, caramelizing the sugars, especially in the carrots and onions. The result was that the vegetables, especially the potatoes, were soft on the inside, yet crispy on the outside. But the main source of flavor in this dish was the braising liquid. The flavor was dominated by the Worcestershire sauce, which added an umami taste that really brought out the beefiness in the chuck roast, the sweetness in the carrots and onions, and the earthiness in the potatoes. The red wine and onion soup mix were in the background, the other spices as well, but a little bit weaker. So like I said, the Worcestershire sauce was the dominating flavor, so don't leave it out. It's absolutely essential to this dish. And now that I'm holding the plate up to the camera, you can see what I was talking about in regards to the texture. The meat was fall apart tender, while the potatoes were soft on the inside, and many of them were crispy on the outside, especially the top that was sticking out of the braising liquid. Although you could eat this any way you want, I really liked putting a little bit of everything. A little bit of meat, a piece of vegetable, especially onion, and some rice on my fork in the same bite. I thought that combination of flavors and textures was exceptional. Everything was better together than separate. Like I said, this chuck roast in the oven with potatoes and vegetables recipe was great, but I still want to mention a few things. The main thing is that you need to be mindful of how large your chuck roast is and how it's shaped so that you have enough liquid for the braise. For this type of recipe in a 9x13 baking dish, I would recommend a flatter roast so that you don't have to add as much liquid for the braising to work. Honestly, the main thing to keep in mind with this recipe is that I think it works best if you have a flatter piece of roast. Mine was probably a little too thick, but if yours is around the 3-pound mark and it's flatter, you won't need as much liquid for the braise to work, so that is more ideal. Also, if you're baking your chuck roast in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, I would count on about 3 hours of cooking minimum. 2 covered, 1 uncovered to reduce the braising liquid, but if you have to add a lot of extra liquid, maybe more. Those 2 things aside, this recipe is really easy and it's delicious, so I hope you give it a try. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.